everybody, my name is Beth Shipley. On October 1st, I participated in a site visit at the Madonna Rehabilitation Center in Lincoln, Nebraska. We were given a tour by Kent Eichenberger. Kent is a 21-year employee of Madonna, and he currently serves as the HIM director and the privacy officer. Kent was accompanied by his office manager, Michelle, and together they gave us a tour of the facility. We got a peek at everything from the chapel and the gym to the 15-bed pediatric unit. Madonna has their own lab, and they have their own classrooms for continued education. Madonna is a 308-bed facility. They're a national leader that specializes in rehabilitation programs for patients of all ages that have experienced traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, stroke, and pulmonary conditions. After we were given a tour of the grounds, we were allowed inside of the HIM department. And this was kind of exciting to me because it was the first time I'd ever been inside of an HIM department. Their department appeared to be very well organized. There was, as we walked in, there was a reception area, and directly across from the area was an area referred to as the physician's review desk. And this is an area where doctors can sign documents and furnish information to patient files that need to be completed. I never really gave it a thought that a patient's file could make it all the way to the HIM department without being complete. And it kind of sounds like it's a common practice, and it might be something just as simple as a doctor's signature that's missing. But Kent takes this really serious about getting these records completed. He has only 30 days from the release of the patient before these records have to be sealed. So he takes it really seriously, and he says he notifies the doctors that they have files to complete. And the first week, he says he doesn't get too excited. That after the second week, he says he'll simply send them a text message and remind them that they need to come in. But he says after that, he says he makes sure that the Vice President of Medical Affairs is notified. And he says this usually gets the attention of the physicians, and the files are completed in a fairly timely manner. The HIM department was comprised of 15 employees. Of these 15, there were 5 coders. I was surprised. I thought with the size of the facility, I thought there would be more people in the HIM department, and I definitely thought there would be more than 5 coders. After the records are obtained by the department, they're transcribed and coded. After they're coded, they're filed, and they use a terminal digit order to file their files. And these files are color-coded to make them easier to find and harder to place into the wrong spot when they're filing them. The files are kept on site for 2 years, and then they're stored off-site until they meet the 10-year requirement of the state. Kent did say that for pediatric patients, the records have to be kept until the patient reaches the age of 25, or a minimum of 10 years. After the requirement for the state is met, then the records are shredded. And we did ask Kent why they don't scan these records and keep them in an electronic records, just thinking that they wouldn't take up as much room and maybe they could store them on site then. But the cost of scanning was the reason that Kent gave us that they didn't. He said actually the cost of scanning is more than actually maintaining paper records, even though they have to pay someone to store them for them. As far as audits go, Kent said that in-house audits are performed daily. He said if a DRG changes after a bill is sent to Medicare, then that sends up a red flag, and then there's an automatic audit. He said audits by insurance companies and others are done upon request. They're more than happy to comply if someone requests that an audit be done. When asked if they had begun transitioning to the ICD-10, Kent's answer was not yet, and he cited physician documentation and cost as being what he foresaw as the biggest hurdles in this transition. The first thing I thought was, wow, this ICD-10 has to be in place in a year, and that time is really going to go fast. But Kent obviously has a lot of confidence in his staff because he did not seem nervous about this deadline at all. After after my visit, I think that Madonna would be a great place to work. I can't say that there was anything that I felt was a negative. I felt very comfortable in the environment. Everyone we encountered was friendly and seemed very easily approachable. I think they would be awesome coworkers. Although I'm not familiar with it, the computer system that they used was all scripts, which they said is very easy to navigate, and I think that would be a plus. The visit really opened my eyes for the need for detail and the many obstacles that can be encountered on a daily basis in that line of work. There was just so much to absorb that, of course, I left wishing I had asked more questions, but I definitely gained an appreciation for the behind-the-scenes medical professionals.